Hi, John Valvano here. In this video, we're going to talk about arrays and functions that process arrays. And as you know, I like to start with how I'm going to test it before I even talk about how to design it. Okay, I have an array containing scores of two different groups, and one's got a size 6 and the other's got size 8. Okay? Now in C, these two arrays are going to be in RAM, but I have the option of initializing, which this occurs after the reset and before the main. Okay, so my plan is to write an average function which takes a group and a size of that group and returns the average of those values. That's my goal here. And in C, if I use the name of the array with a bracket without a number in here as a parameter, it's going to pass the address of the array into the function. And so this is an address or a reference parameter, and this is going to be the size of the array. Obviously, I got 6 for that one and 8 for that one. All right, so that's my function prototype there. And like I said, before I implement it, I want to know how it is I'm going to test it. Okay, so in this particular example, I'm going to write the function average and pass in the address of one group and its size, and then the other group and its size, and then look see if it calculates the correct average. Again, in C, if I specify just the name of an array without the bracket, I get a pointer to the first element. And this is a pointer to a 32-bit signed number. And so these are going to be the same type. Okay, so this is a pointer to a 32-bit array. This is a pointer to a 32-bit array. Okay, so that's how I'm going to call it. All right, then the third thing I want to do is I want to implement it. And I'm going to do pseudocode first here. So I'll have an initialize a sum. And then I am going to iterate on the size, okay, from 0 to size. And then I'm going to add the next element to the sum, okay? And then when I'm done iterating on the size, okay, I'm going to do that size times 6 times for one, 8 times for the other, and at the end I'm going to calculate the average. Calculate and return the average. Okay, that's my pseudocode here. Okay. And as you remember in C, in order to manipulate, add, and subtract, things have to be of the same type. So I'm going to need a variable sum, which has the same type as my scores. And I'll initialize it like that. Okay. Here's an interesting thing. We did loops in the last section. Is this a do loop, do while, or is this a while? And so I would wonder what's going to happen here if the size is equal to 0. And we'll deal with that later, but it's a while loop, because if size is equal to 0, I don't want to execute the body at all. Okay, so I'll use a for loop, which is another name for a while loop. Now the index of an array doesn't have to be the same type as the data. So I'll just use an int, okay? So I'm going to typical do this size times, spell that right, size I plus plus. Okay. Iterate on size, okay, brace. And then here I'm going to sum, and I'm going to add each element. Okay, you remember, what is group? Group is a pointer to the array. And so I can dereference that pointer with the index I. Okay? And if you'd like, you could have a special case here. If size is equal to 0, then if size is equal to 0, then return, I don't know, something. -1, 10,000, I don't know, something. Okay, I don't want to divide by 0. Otherwise, I will return the sum divided by the size. That's the average. Okay. All right. That's my algorithm. That's my implementation. Right here. Sorry. Too many braces. Sorry, I got too many braces. There we go. All right. Build. Sweet, no errors. Debug, and I got my board plugged in. All right, I want to show you 2 ways to observe an array. Well, first, as you can see, I can just right-click over it, and it will show me the data. It shows me where it is. Okay, there's its address right there, and its values. I could also add it to a watch window. Okay, I'm going to add it to a watch window, and I'll add the other one too, because we're interested in both. Add them to watch windows. Okay. And then I can open the caret here, and there's my first array, and here's my second array. Okay, and again, you can see the address here increments by 4 every element because it's a 32-bit array. Another way to observe the array is the memory browser. Okay, now what I can do is up here is I can type in an address that I want to observe, and there's my array. Remember to set the type of the data to match the type of what you're observing. Okay, again, this is a signed 32-bit number. All right, step over. Yeah, sure. Let's see if it works. Step over. Average is a local variable, and you can see it calculated the average of 94. Okay, step over, calculate the average of 90 of that group. Okay. So in summary, arrays are defined like this, okay, and they're accessed by getting an address to it, passing it into a function, and then dereferencing the elements with an index.